Hello everyone. So in this video we will learn what is Microsoft Fabric, and we will also see practical side of the Fabric. So you will learn all the important concept of the Microsoft Fabric. So first of all, if we want to go in a browser and type app.powerbi, which means this is a app.powerbi.com, which is we are opening our Microsoft Fabric. So app.powerbi.com is actually redirecting us on a Microsoft Fabric. So it's loading, so wait for its loading. Here you go. So it's a similar Power BI interface. So you can see that you have a workspace and all the stuff like here. If you are familiar with Power BI, if you're not familiar, then no worries. I will guide you each and every step in this video. So let's click here Power BI, then you can see Microsoft Fabric here. So yeah, so what is Microsoft Fabric? Why Microsoft has got an idea that they introduce a fabric? So fabric is like a fabric we wear a cloth. Okay, so cloth is made different type of components. So Microsoft Fabric is the same concept. Microsoft Fabric is actually used for data analytics. It's a complete boundary of the data analytics or business intelligence tools. Previously what happened, that data factory is a part of Azure. It's still a part of the Azure, but we need to take a license or acquire or manage in data factory in Azure. Then data activator is a new thing which is actually managed to event handler or monitor what data. Then a Synapses data engineering is also part of Azure. So a lot of, but Power BI is not part of the Azure actually. So it's something different way. So what Microsoft did, Microsoft actually planned to all in one location to make organized, collaborate and create an effectiveness. So this is a theoretical part. So now let's come our actual main part, which is actually a demonstration part. So for demonstration part, I would actually create a workspace, a blank workspace. Let me go in a Power BI and let me create a workspace. So new workspace I am going to create. For example, my workspace name is code movement. Okay, so this is my workspace, and then click apply. If you see diamond symbol here, which means it's a fabric content. What if it's not enabled here? If you create it, so you have to go workspace setting, then you need to go premium, and then you just click trial. So it will actually, what it is going, it will enable your fabric for trial. So it from as per my knowledge, from 1st of July 2023, it's automatically your Power BI Pro license is converted into Fabric like I have. So one thing, and second thing, you can go in a admin portal, and then you will also see capacity setting, and under capacity setting you have a trial. So this trial is 64 capacity unit. So it's a good license actually, I would say, but it's a trial. So this is the way you can enable your fabric on Microsoft Power BI. So let's get back into the our Power BI workspace. I am going to code movement here, which I just created. It's a blank, nothing is there. So in Microsoft Fabric we have a one lake. One lake is similar like data lake. We called in data lake, what we have a structured and semi-structured type of data, or even we have a live streaming data. So lake is a place where we hold our data. So similar concept Microsoft is called is one lake or Lakehouse. So first we need to create a Lakehouse, and under the Lakehouse we have a multiple warehouse. For example, warehouse for HR, warehouse for sales, or we can say data mart as well in our layman term, but Microsoft has a data mart and they have a warehouse concept. So let's create a simple data lakehouse. So I need to go again in Microsoft Fabric, sorry, Power BI, and then select my workspace, and then I have to create more options. Yeah, here we have a full stack. In more options we have a full stack. What we have, data activator, we have a two option. Under data activator, data engineering, we have a lakehouse, which we are going to create now. Notebook is like a workbook type thing where we write a Python code or like other activity codes. So we can also write a Spark job here. So in data factory, data flow gen is a new one. Before it was generation first, and now it's generation 2. It's a power query type interface where we have a data preparation, transformation, and data pipeline, which is actually like similar like Azure Data Factory. So we have data science, equipment, experiment, notebook. So this is a model where we can apply data science, machine language, data warehouse, and Power BI component, and then KQL. KQL is one of the form where we have a we can pick a data from any text file, CSV, JSON, or other PARQ format. So let's create our first data lake. Okay, so let's create data lake house first. So I will give a name, the data lake house, data LH, okay, which means lake house. Let it create it. Keep in mind it's a cloud based, so sometimes it's taking a while creating a component, or while creating a job, or while creating a task for us. So that's so you will have to bear with me. So in data lake house we have two things which is definitely will be empty. First is table and second one is file. If we want to use our unstructured data, then it will put in a file. If we want to make our structured data, then it will place in a table. And one thing, keep in mind that data lake house is actually cover the whole workspaces of the Power BI. I will show you. Let first we have one more thing, that we have a upload file and new data pipelines. We have a new data generation, data flow, and then shortcuts. So what we need to do, we have to actually we either create a folder here or upload a folder. It will take time, but I am going to use upload a file. Okay, so when I click on the upload file, so it will asking me where my file is. So let me go, and let's say I have two files, comma delimited file and JSON file. Let me first upload a comma delimited file. So it's yeah, it's uploaded, and let me refresh it actually. So because it's taking some time, so maybe on the spot you will not see anything, but meanwhile I am going to upload another file, like which is our JSON file. Okay, iris.json file, and override if file is already available, but I know that we have not available, so I have. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, so it will take time. Okay, so don't worry about that, it will definitely create a file. So I am going to back in a workspace, codemovement.com, no, sorry, code movement in my workspace. So where I have a data lake which I created, and it's also created data lake SQL endpoint, and it's also created data lake house data set. So my workspace is the owner. Actually I just created this file, okay, but it will create it automatically by the my workspace because it's a requirement. So don't worry about that, we have just focused on data lake warehouse. Okay, let me open and then check either we have a data or not. We still do not have any showing anything. Let me refresh one more time. So it's taking a time actually. So let's wait for its publishing. So finally we have two files after a few minutes wait, iris.csv, iris.json. Then I have, let me click this way, so I'm going to preview this file. Okay, this is a JSON file, and like that. So we are good to go here, that we created our uh, lake house here. Okay, now I am going to disconnect it, or maybe going back to my workspace again, and code movement is my workspace. Now I am going to create a warehouse. Okay, because we are going to cover as much as possible, so that's why I'm going to we created a lake house. Okay, now we are going to cover warehouse. Okay, let me create warehouse, dwh cm. dws cm is my warehouse. Okay, name is very important, because I will uh, tell you why important. Because it's one window, so we get under Lakehouse we get multiple warehouses we can create, so that's why we have to remember our name or workspace, that where we are working. Okay, so it's creating a warehouse. So what warehouse is? Warehouse is, has a schema, and under schema we have views, and we have nothing else. Okay, and then we don't have anything. In fact, we have a functions, so we have a queries like this. So we will get back into, but first we need to get our data. So where we are going to connect now, new data flow gen 2. Okay, so I click new data gen 2, and it's opening up interface, and I hope you are familiar with this interface. Once it's loaded, so you know it's a power query type interface. Okay, so I hope you are familiar with this interface. So I just name it like get data from Oracle. I am trying to get data from Oracle or maybe SQL, so I will create two things. Okay, let me get data from Oracle, and Oracle is not here, but get data from another source. So still not showing me Oracle here. Mostly Excel, most common, which is actually Microsoft supported, so definitely it will come first. But if I write Oracle, ORA, then you can see Oracle database. Okay, so for Oracle I need to connect my Oracle on-premises servers. For this demonstration I am going to connect with my on-premises data. Okay, let's assume we have a company, and a company have already Oracle and SQL, they are not using cloud solution. So let me go here and let me copy the credit. You know, this is my localhost 1521, and this is my connectivity. So I am going to use this to make sure that I am going to connect with the local server, localhost 1521, and then okay, so it's picked on-premises data gateway. You know, let me, if it's allow me, so what data gateway, you know, we have a data gateway on-premises usability. So I am, let me explain you what I am talking. Okay, so to connect with the data gateway, actually we need to close it. Okay, I'm going to close it. No, yes, I want to exit. Okay, and then settings, under manage connection gateway, GW1 is showing my gateway here. So let's go here. So we have a GW1 gateway. So I have installed actually two types of gateway offered by Power BI: on-premises data gateway and personal mode. So I have both of them installed on my system, but for this demonstration I'm going to use GW1 gateway, and I already created on-premises Oracle settings or gateway connectivity. If you know how, or I am using Oracle as SQL as well, if you know, then you can just click here in a new mode. Let me like this, on premises connectivity. Yeah, here we are. So if you know how we can create a gateway or connectivity, so you just name your name ABCXYZ, what you want to name. Okay, sorry, GW1 and then ABC, and then we have to, it's loading actually, so it's taking a time. That's why I told you that you have to bear it. So here you type what type of data source it is. So let's say we have a SQL server. So where is SQL server? SQL server S. Yeah, here you go. We have SQL server. Then we need to go to, define our. For example, I am going to connect with my local server. If you have a Azure cloud, then you can give your Azure cloud. If I have an EDW is my data warehouse name, and let me use basic methods or essays and my password, and then create. Okay, so ABC is my, so created ABC successfully. So let's see, you have a ABC, and it's a better that you have to check status as well. So it's online. So this is the way you can connect with your gateway. So let's get back to our so we have to create localhost. So keep in mind we are going to connect with our Oracle. Okay, so we have a Oracle on-premises database. Next, it will take a time depending on the speed on, because the data is going migrating from my machine to cloud. So connected to data source, this is taking longer than expectation, but hopefully yeah, it's back. So I am going to use HR database, or I am taking only this table, employee details view, only just for the demonstration purpose. I am taking one table. Okay, let it. So we have all the fields. Let confirm. Okay, yes, we have all the fields, all the columns in fact, and create it. So here you show employee detail. If I select 3 or more table, multiple table, then I can see here multiple tables, but right now I am going to see only one tables. So let it route first. Is running. It's taking 61.5 MB memory. So you are good to go. So what you need to connect here, and then warehouse none, and next. This is a similar thing if we want to move our tables in a data lake house. Similar thing, but in fact we have a warehouse here, and then in lake we have a lake house here. So we have a workspace code movement here. So let's select code movement here, because we are going to update or move our table or create our table in this warehouse. DWSCM is our warehouse. Okay, so we are going to create a new table because this table is not found. If existing table, we can use this one, but for this demonstration we are going to use new table. So let me go new. Validating data destination. Okay, so what here option is, either we can append or we can replace. So replace is fine with this demonstration purpose, and it's a very important that we have to review that all the fields and their destination type. So we have employee ID, like for example we have a salary updated. We have two salary columns, salary and salary updated, and then looks me fine. Okay, then save settings. Okay, so if we are good to go, then what we need to either publish later or publish now. Publish later mean we do not have connectivity with the data warehouse, but it will save our work. But publish now will also going connect with our data warehouse. Okay, so what is our data warehouse name? DWHSCM. So it's now actually populating data in data flow pipeline, and after that it will also going to refresh. Okay, or we can also schedule our refresh as well, but it will taking a bit more time, maybe 1 minute 2 minutes depending on the speed of the internet. So let's wait for it. So this process is completed. Now it's refreshing. So wait for it. Also it is still processing, so we need to hold on our horses till it's not completed. So it's completed now. So let's open our warehouse. So you see lot of things is actually developed by code movement workspace itself, not ours. So we actually work uh, create data lakehouse by myself, then data warehouse myself, and data flow generation to myself. But other than that, it create code movement or workspace by himself. So don't worry about that. So let's open data warehouse. Loading your data warehouse. So let's see, we have a table. Yeah, we have a table. So we have a table and we must have a data. Let's see, it has a data or not. Yeah, we have a data. So let's verify how many records we have updated. So in a new SQL, we just click here and like select, as we do in select count star from table name. Okay, and let's run it. 106. Yeah, we have 106 rows because I know we have a 106 rows in Oracle as well. So we are good to go here. We have connected our data with the Oracle, which is on premises. So now data is in our warehouse as well. So this is one thing, and let me do one more thing. What if we are also fetch our data from data lake? Because in this warehouse I am not seeing a file option, right? So if we want to fetch our unstructured data or semi-structured data, which is available in our Lakehouse, as we already upload two files, iris.csv or iris.json. For example, we want to fetch this file in our data warehouse. So how we can fetch it? So let get data, or we already use new data flow gen. Now I'm going to use new data pipeline. By the way, we can rename this query as well. But I already clicked it, so let it open. Get data from Lakehouse. Okay, let me create this. You have to bear with me but the speed of the fabric. So here we have a different options, like by default it's giving me that we have a template. We can pick sample data, we can work with Amazon Azure on cloud-based system. But the only the drawback which is this data flow, that we cannot connect with the on-premises solution. So data flow gen 2 has a capability which can connect with on-premises solution, but I don't think so this is in this data pipeline we have a capability. So let me cancel it because I am not going to use this one. So this is a similar interface, similar type interface as your data factory. So let me use copy data, add to canvas, like get Lakehouse data, or we can say copy Lakehouse data. Okay, so we have external files, but we don't have any external. We have a sample sheet, but we are going to use workspace, and we have a Lakehouse and then we have a data Lakehouse is our data Lakehouse which we created for this demonstration. And we have a tables, but we don't have a table, we have a files. So we need to browse a file. Let's say we are processing iris.json file. Okay, let's for the sake of the example, so we have this. So we have a source is set. Now we want to create a destination. and destination is our data warehouse, and data warehouse is data warehouse SCM we just created, and we don't have any table here for, so auto created table. Schema is where we want to place it. Let me show. Let me refresh it. Okay, so under this schema DBO, we have a DBO is under the schema. We want to create a table, or we have option we can create a new schema as well, but for the sake of example I am going to use DBO, and under the DBO I am going to create a iris table. Okay, so DBO and then iris table. Okay, just for my, let's see what is the problem. What is the problem? Actually the problem is mapping is not supported for binary copying. Okay, because we are using, okay, let's let it be there, and in the setting we don't have anything. Okay, let's save this and run this. Let's say what happened. Validating of module failed, fix it before saving. So we have some issues. The issue is we don't have have a destination must be binary when sources is of the binary format. So we need to fix this issue. So I got the problem. So what I did in a source, actually in we have two files, and I took iris.json, which is I am stick with this, still I am sticking with this, but it's saying file format binary. The problem is that I need to select JSON. Okay, then you see mapping is enabled. So this is my mistake actually. So now I am going to create and then mapping. So we have two things, either we can create mapping one by one, or we can import a schema. Let it wait for its completion. So let's review it, that we have this type, then we need to select type here, because type is not picked by JSON. If we use CSV then it may pick, but for, so let me show what will be the type. So this is our JSON file and is 5.1, which means we have a decimal values, and then we have in a last we have species, we have a numeric values, string values. So let me get back into our, so that's important, we must know that decimal. Okay, so I select decimal, maybe float is not here, so decimal, let me type decimal. Space is very few space, let me type decimal, will it allow or not? Yeah, and text string is allowed. Okay, so let me save it and let me rerun. It start running, but we are not sure that what happened. Let's wait for its completion. It will take a time, so hold your horses with me. Now it's after queue is in progress, so looks me good. Still now it's working, still in progress. So finally it succeeded, so that's cool. So we have to actually see our refresh our data warehouse. So what we did, actually we have a iris table here. Yeah, what we did, we have fetch data EMP detail from Oracle, which is our on-premises, and we also fetch from data in iris table. The source is data lake, and data lake actually pick data from our JSON file, and which is from our local system. So let run a query. Okay, so where we, okay, let me go out from this, and I'm going to workspace, code movement. So what we have done so far, so we get data from Oracle using data flow gen 2, get data from Lakehouse using data pipeline, we created data warehouse, we created data lake. So we have developed or done so far 4 activities, major activities. So I think now our data is ready, so it's time for the visualization. So we have already moved data in data warehouse. Let's review our data warehouse first quickly. So we have employee data and then iris data. Let's see. Okay, so we have a query here. Let me also know how many rows in our iris data. Okay, and then I will take iris table. Let me put semicolon at the end. It's not necessary, you just need to select this and run this. So 150 rows, yes, I know it's 150 rows. So we have data in. Now it's time to create something for data visualization. So let me go code movement. The quickest way to develop a report is new report. So I just click new report. We have a 2 data set here, iris and then employee, right? So I can drag and drop all the whatever the chart. For example, I want to create a country wise, country name wise, salary. Here we go, we have created. So this is one way, and another way is, I will also show another way. For that I need to go back. Yeah, I am not going to save it. So another way is, actually we can open with Azure Data Studio, which is actually a desktop based product. You can download it, it's free. So this is another way we can analyze our data. So it's, wait for it, it's loading. Yeah, so it's going to connect our data warehouse. So it's a this is another way. So in this training we are not going to learn this Azure Data Studio, but this is another way. So I am going to close it, and one another way I am finding for you. So I am telling you another way which is quick and easy, that we have a data warehouse, then we have a data set. So if I click three dots, then we have a auto created report. So just click it and see the magic of the fabric. Wait it for a while, because magic need some wait or time. Yeah, you can see it's created a fabricated or delegated dashboard without any coding. So all the thing is available. However, if we want to save it, then we can save, give it a name, dash cm dashboard. Okay, so actually what is source is using, it's using employee detail view, or if we want to edit it, then it has an option, you can go edit. Okay, because we have already we have a similar functionality like we do, as I show you in a demo, that if I want to show country wise graph, so it will create a same thing like but city wise, so it's create all the thing for you. And in fact it will also textual form data, so it's a very cool thing. So I hope you like this demonstration of the Power BI.